a lot of work to be able for Mary to stay here and the team for this to happen when APEC is going into high gear. So we really appreciate your support. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of course, Consul General Tanoka, the UK Consul General Ian Gibbons, Mr. Nguyen Quang Vinh from BCCI BPCSD, Mr. Scott Price, Executive Vice President of Global Leverage for Walmart International, the Walmart executives from the US, Ms. Sridevi Sarmar Kalaba Kulanu, Regional Senior Director of Asia for Responsible Sourcing, Ms. Jocelyn Tran, Regional Senior Director of Southeast Asia for Global Sourcing, Ms. Carolyn Castro, Vice President of Brand Management for MGF Sourcing, Ms. Claire Boyd, Compliance Manager at Bell Brand, Mr. Stuart Granfield, Group Head of Vendor Audit for Clark International, Ms. Alison Fleetwood, Country Manager for Clark International, and Ms. Sandra Hortley, Advisory Board Member of the Independent Anti-Slavery Commissioner of the UK, as well as all of our guests from near and far, especially the factories who have been partnering with us, and the workers and the students who have been working and benefiting from the services that our collaboration have brought about. When we first started our counter-trafficking project here in Vietnam in 2005, I thought that it would take 5 years, and then everybody would know about human trafficking, and then the risk would not be there anymore, right? I mean, how everybody is smart. This is a trickery situation. It's bad. It's not gonna last long. Well, unfortunately, for the past 12 years now, human trafficking has become, in fact, a global concern. And we look outward to the next 10 years, the next 20 years, and we're thinking, what is it then that will make a difference? It will be a long-lasting difference instead of just working in the grassroots level that we've been working at. So consider, for example, some of the statistics I want to give to you today with regards to the situation in Vietnam, Vietnamese trafficking victims. So Vietnam is currently the top source country for child trafficking victims to the UK, and the number 2 for adults. Vietnam is also one of the top source countries for stolen brides and sex trafficking to China and Malaysia, as well as for child trafficking to Cambodia. So as you can see, Vietnamese youth face increasing risk of human trafficking and forced labor, and this has not abated. I think what happened was that in 2003, when I took a look at the situation, everybody thought that we were worrying too much. 12 years ago, very few people talk about human trafficking. But what I've come to realize is actually what we saw 12 years ago was just the tip of the iceberg. And I think the iceberg is just slowly emerging. So human trafficking has become one of the biggest threats to Vietnam's successful development, stealing the future away from our youth and workers. When we talk about SDGs, when we talk about all the before it's the MDGs and now it's SDGs, we talk about infant mortality rate, reducing infant mortality rate, reducing maternal death, reducing school dropout, increasing people's education. All of those investments get ripped away when somebody's trafficked from a